Hey everybody, Cookies here. I'm going to be walking through my setup of Bigwigs for the new raid, Amirdrassil the Dream's Hope, for patch 10.2. So let's jump right in. First up, we're going to open our Bigwigs with /BW. Going to head over to raid bosses, and then we're going to go to Amirdrassil the Dream's Hope. And then we're going to go through the first 7 bosses in this video, and then I'll have a part 2 where we go over the last 2 bosses. And we are going to be setting this up for Mythic, but this can work for any difficulty. You basically just take out the Mythic things if you don't plan to do Mythic. So we're going to go ahead and head over to mythictrap.com. This is a website that will help kind of guide you through each of the bosses and give you visual representations of all their abilities and what they do, so we can get an idea of how to set up our bigwigs before we've actually gone in and done the boss ourselves. So I have very little knowledge of these bosses at the moment, so we're going to be pretty much going in this fresh together. So the first boss, we have Gnarlroot. We're just going to set the raid difficulty to Mythic. You can change the roll filter if you're a specific, since we're a healer, stuff like that, but we're just going to leave it blank for now just so we can see everything. And then we're going to go ahead and scroll down. We can read a fight overview, but we're just going to kind of cut through this and find the abilities that we want to set up things in our bigwigs for. And the 3 main things is we're going to find the main mechanics, which is usually 1 or 2 things to set, noises for if we want to change the noises for those main mechanics. And then we have things that such as like debuffs, which we're going to be wanting to use our defensives for. So we're going to want to find a sound for that. If you've watched my previous bigwig setup guides, then you'll know what I'm talking about. But we'll get to that when we get there. And then lastly, we always want to find one ability on every single boss where we can set a countdown for. So something where when we hear the countdown, we know exactly what ability is coming because we planned, to set up a countdown for one specific ability on each boss. So starting off, we have the boss spawns ads. Don't need anything for that. Then the next ability, we have this right here. It's called Controlled Burn. And we want to put this on the ads that are on the floor that are inactive, and it activates the ads which we want to kill to get into the intermission. So this is the first ability we're going to want to set up. This is the debuffs / defensives that I was talking about. You can see it hits really hard when it hits you. At least it did in PTR. So we're going to want to go in here, go to Gnarlroot, and then we're going to find Controlled Burn. Controlled Burn bombs right here. We click on the little arrows, and then we're going to set this to only when on me. And what that does is it only will make this noise when the debuff is on us, so that we're not hearing it when other people get the debuff and not us. And then we go over to sound, and then we're just going to change the warning to a different sound. So what I like to use, as you guys know, is whenever there's an ability where we need to move or do something with it specifically, we need to go to a specific location, so it requires some kind of movement. I always use this flag taken PvP sound, and we can get a test of the sound by clicking this little speaker icon on the right hand side. So when we hear that, we know, okay, I have it, I need to move. And because it's this particular fight and we're not going to overlap this noise with anything else, we know that when we hear this noise on this boss, it means we need to go to a group of ads and drop the bomb on the ads. So there we go. We have that set up. Now we look at more stuff. This is a debuff that you get from the plants, I believe, on Mythic difficulty. This is just going on everybody all the time. I believe it's close to the intermission. So we're going to kind of ignore this because we're just going to be, everyone's going to be spreading out the entire time that this is happening. And then we have raid damage. We have a frontal cone. We can leave that be as well. Or if we wanted to, because it is a randomly aimed frontal, we could make a countdown for this. But we'll see if there's anything else that we want to set a countdown for. So far, this is just a spread around the room when the intermission starts and dodge things. There's soaks that happen. And that's it. So yeah, I think we're going to set the countdown for the ability that was the cone. So we'll have to find that. We go back and just read through these. Tortured Scream. Does not look like that is it. Right here, Shadow Flame, Cleave, Frontal Cone. So we're going to go in here, and then we're just going to set countdown. And that'll just make it to where we'll hear 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 before the boss does the frontal. That way we can kind of just prepare and know, okay, I'm going to need to move in 5 seconds, since there's not really anything else that I would specifically want to put a countdown on. I think that's good. So that's pretty much as easy as it gets for the first boss. And then we go to the next one. So we go up here. We're going to go to Igira. All right, and then we're going to go through here. So now we go to Igira the Cruel. Spread around the boss, destroy the spears. We're not going to need anything specific for that. We could technically, since that targets random players, we could set up the PvP flag taken sound, since we're probably going to want to move to a specific location. So let's go ahead and do that. So this is going to be the blistering spear, and then we set only when on me, and then we make the sound the PvP flag taken sound. Okay, and then we go here, dodge the blades. Soak the weapons. This is just going to be a raid mechanic, so maybe this will be like our countdown, but we'll see. Dodge projectiles that spawn afterwards. Don't need anything for that. This just means that we need to set up different groups to soak, so we don't need to worry about that. Tank mechanic. Okay, there we go. That's what we're gonna probably want our... Oh, maybe not. It looks like it might just bait on the farthest player. Okay, that looks pretty much it. So now we'll read through the Bigwigs, since I didn't really get a good read on some of the abilities. So we have Blistering Torment, Heat radiates from the spear until the spear is destroyed, so that's just a healer mechanic pretty much. Twisting Blade, random direction of a player, inflicting 92,000 damage if you get hit. Knocking back players. This is just the soak. So yeah, we'll set a countdown for the March for Torment, I believe. So we'll set a countdown for that. That's where we have to do the raid mechanic where we have to soak. And then other than this, it looks like a lot of these we don't need to worry about. It looks like maybe the Smashing Viscera we might want to set something for. Oh, this is good. Hurls blades at several players, causing them to absorb healing for 15 seconds. So this is where we'd probably want to use some kind of defensive. Shadow Flame orbs erupt from the afflicted player. Okay, yeah, I remember this mechanic. Okay. So yeah, for the Heartstopper, which is going to be, I believe it was not this one. I don't remember where it is specifically. It's basically a heal. I don't think it's showing it in here. It's a heal absorb that you get, and then when the heal absorb fades off of you, there's orbs that split out from you, and other players have to dodge them. So we're just gonna set to put like to use a defensive when this happens, just to help. I don't know for sure if it helps against the healing absorb, since it's technically not doing damage, but it may. So we'll end up seeing. So we just go in here and we do only when on me. And then we just change the sound. We're just going to turn that into the sound that I usually use for defensive styled stuff. And that is, if I remember correctly, let me check a different boss because I actually don't remember now. It is going to be, where would I have it set? Might have it on Amalgamation Chamber, hopefully. Bombs, only one on me. Oh, that's the movement thing. What did I have it set as? It's not any of these ones. We will find it. Maybe Rashok? Probably not. Yeah, I might just not have this set for anything. I don't remember what I have it in Vault of the Incarnate somewhere. Sorry about this. Trying to find the ones that I have defensive setup for. Looks like I just don't. I don't remember what sound effect it was that I used. Yeah, I'm just not going to find it, I guess. Maybe I can guess it on a whim. We shall try. I believe it was 180, maybe. 89? These might be loud. Oh, that was close. It wasn't that one, though. But basically, long story short, I'll find this later so that I don't have to do it on this time. But you basically go through here and just find a sound effect that will really stand out to you as like a, hey, press your defensive button. You can also literally set it to like, you can go down here and there are ones that literally will just say things like defensive or soak or all that kind of stuff. We're just gonna do 190, I think. 190? Yeah, let's do that. So that'll be our defensive for now. All right, and then next up we have Volocross. Sorry for the delay. Same thing, we go through here, split your rate in half, don't need to worry about that. Healers heal damage, then players with a circle spread. Ah, yeah, because there's going to be a few players who get a debuff where they have to like stay spread out from other players, coiling flames. So that's going to be our defensive one. So we're going to go in here, and that's coiling flames. And we are going to just set this as, let's see. So coiling flames only went on me. And then we're going to set the sound to that retro 190. That's just going to tell us, hey, you have the debuff. You need to press the defensive because you're going to be taking more damage than other people are during this encounter. All right, and then next up we have... these are the soaks that we get. So this is the same thing, Flood of the Firelands. We can set this to probably a countdown, honestly, but we're going to wait a minute for that. This we could set to literally say soak, which I'm going to go ahead and do. Oh, am I DCing right now? That's not good timing. I believe there might be something better to set the countdown for, because there's a lot of other stuff that's happening in the fight. Maybe as a raid leader, I do want this set up as the countdown, because it'll be nice to know that it's upcoming. Yeah, I think we'll do that. We'll set the countdown as the soak. Then we also have like this tail slam that happens, but that has quite a bit of a telegraphed display. And then we have projectiles that spawn out. That might be good. That's what I was thinking initially of putting the countdown for, is this. So we kind of know when we need to bait things. So maybe we'll do that. We'll just put soak for the soaks and then do a countdown for when we need to bait the swirlies. So we go raid bosses. We're going to go back to Amirdrassil, Volocross, and that's going to be Flood of the Firelands is the soak. Just leave it alone, because even if it's not on us, we still want to soak. So it's important to just always have it say soak rather than only when on me. Otherwise, we will not hear it. So
soak.
We set it to that. And then we have, I believe it's right here, this volcanic disgorge. And that is going to be a countdown. And then we don't need to set like a specific time, like a sound for it or anything, because we'll have the countdown timer. So that'll pretty much tell us what we need to know. And then I believe other than that, I think that is pretty much it. Yeah, that's it for that boss. We don't need anything else in particular. So we found the main mechanic, we found the debuffs that we want to use our defenses on, and then we found something to put a countdown timer on, and that's always the goal. So now we have Council of Dreams. This one's a little more complicated, but it should still be doable. We're going to read through some of it in here first, because I think it might be easier to separate it by boss. And these ones, they have different ultimate abilities. So I think what we're going to do is there's a couple different options. We could set 3 separate countdown timers and change the voice that's counting down. But I think what we're going to do is just find the most important ability, like the ultimate ability that each of the bosses do, and then set that as the countdown timer. And I think that's going to be the Blind Rage, probably the charge. So we will set a countdown timer for Blind Rage, and Blind Rage is where the bear boss does his ultimate, and that is going to be right here. Technically, it should just be something that the tanks probably do as a countdown, but we're just going to do it for that for now. Just so we know when they're going to overlap, because that's the most important thing, is understanding when they overlap. All right, and then what else do we have here? Barreling charge. Oh, that's actually the thing. So we don't want countdown for Blind Rage. We want it for Barreling Charge. That's the ability that he does that we're going to want to be aware of. Okay, and then what else do we have here? Let's see if anything targets us specifically. It's not interrupted. Lushing out all players. Noxious blossom pools. Showers the ground with blossoms that emit poisonous fumes. We just stay away from those. Poisonous javelin. Launching at players on impact and every second. Does that guaranteed hit? That's what we need to know. Don't stand in flowers. Eat flowers and exit polymorph away from players interrupted. This is going to be when we get turned into a duck. So if you get turned into a duck, you're going to want some kind of... You don't really need a notification because you're already, you know, you're already aware that you're turned into a duck, but we'll set that only when on me, so that we only get alerted when that happens. And then we'll just set it to the PvP flag taken sound, just to give us a little bit of a reminder of what we need to be doing with that. Back to Council of Dreams. Other thing I would like to find. Hide in a flower to remove the shield. This is when I believe it's Pip ultimates is when you want to do this. So Pip's is causing all players to absorb. Okay, yeah. So this is whenever Pip ultimates, you want to jump into the pools on the floor. So we probably set that as our countdown timer, I think. That way we know when it's coming ahead of time. We'll set that as our countdown timer. And I know I'm not explaining these bosses. We're kind of assuming that you're either kind of just learning them on the fly like I am, or you go and kind of learn the boss, afterwards or before this, and then we kind of combine this information to help us make decisions. But I'm just kind of going on a whim, and then what I do is after I've done this, once I actually go in the raid, I might make some changes, depending on like what I've seen, or if there's a specific ability that I'm like, oh, that would be really nice to have the countdown timer for that I didn't think about, because the boss guides aren't fully giving me context on how the fight is going to play out and work in my mind. And I think that's pretty much it. Don't know what else we would want. Oh yeah, the Relentless Barrage, we need to see if that actually like guaranteed hits you, or if you can avoid it. Move away to get dispelled. Is this the poison? Is this the javelin? Yeah, it is. Okay. Is that? Poison. Oh, poisonous javelin. Okay, that's different. So poisonous javelin, we want to get away from the group, so we're going to set that to the PvP flag taken sound. And then because we already set something as the PvP flag taken sound, we don't want to confuse ourselves, so we're instead going to change this back to something else. So maybe we do, just do like a funny noise. What about bike horn, or oh, the bite's pretty good. Oh, cartoon hop. What is this? Make a noise. Oh, yeah. Let's see. Sure, we'll do that for now. That'll be fine. You turn into a duck, you'll hear a meow. All right, and then I think that's pretty much it for this boss. We found a countdown timer, found something to use defensive on, and stuff that we need to move out of the raid with. All right, next up we have Larodar. And this is going to be, let's see. I don't think I've seen this fight at all, pretty much. Oh, actually, I did. I did see a little bit of footage of it. So he's going to summon ads. Splinter off a target. This is just a tank mechanic, it looks like. Scorching Roots. Fixate on random players, gathering speed and pursuing them relentlessly for 8 seconds. So let's see what that does. Where is kill the root ASAP and then heal to full? That's something else. See the roots. Roots at the beginning, perhaps. When debuffed, play near fire patches to drop less fire. I don't know what debuff is. Mythic Trap is not doing as good of a job as it has in the past of explaining these things, but that's okay. I'll just have to kind of work with it. So Scorching Roots, it looks like it fixate random players, so that's what we're going to set as our only win on me, and then our PvP flag taken sound. Or just the runaway. Yeah, we'll just do the flag taken, that'll be fine. Because we can do something else with the other one. So then we have Scorching Pursuit. It looks like that's the same thing. We might actually need to switch these, I think, or just set them both as the same thing. So Scorching Pursuit will do only one on me, and the flag taken sound, and see if that causes any issues, but I'm pretty sure it's the same ability, so it should work just fine. Let's go back to that because I keep closing out of it. Larodar. Scorching Bramblethorn, Furious Charge. That's just a tank mechanic, so we don't need to worry about that. This is all intermission stuff. We're getting close to the intermission. Burning ground. I think this is what we're looking for. Maybe not. Falling Ember soaks. Probably set a countdown for this, honestly. This is going to be soaks, so that'll be nice as a raid leader to know when those are coming. And, I mean, even if you're not raid leading, it's probably good to know when those are happening. And then we have flash fire bombs. Tips to purge several players in a flash of fire, causing them to absorb healing. Each player erupts after 8 seconds, dealing damage to players within 8 yards. If the absorb is not healed before expiring, flash fire also applies encased in ash to players hit. And that is going to be... I believe it's this one. Oh, here we go. Expel. Okay, so that is different. And that was hitting insanely hard on the PTR. So that's going to be flash fire. And we're going to make this one only when on me. That way we know to run away. And then because we already used the flag taken sound, this is where I'm going to use something else. So we're going to use like run away.
Run away, little girl. Run away.
And then let's see what else we have. Okay, and then this is the anti-heal. It also inflicts damage. So this one puts a healing absorb on us and then also inflicts damage. So what we want to do is set this to only when on me, and then have this one be our defensive noise, because we're going to want to press a defensive since we can't receive healing and we're taking damage, which is obviously very bad. So we'll set it as that. Where we are separating the different noises, and then I believe that's it. We got a countdown on something, and we got defensives, and we got movement abilities and stuff like that. And now we just got 2 bosses left. So now we're going to go to Nymue. All right, Nymue is another boss that I pretty much have no idea how it works or what it does. Nymue, after the Verdant Matrix is over, deals damage. Don't need to worry about that. We just avoid that. Raid damage. We have bombs, so this is probably important, so let's find where the bombs are. Uh-oh, there's no footage. Groups of players need to soak flowers quickly. Debuff players move to the edge of the room and drop your circle. You can cross the lines to come back. Okay, so what is this? This is, I'm trying to read this. Weaver's Burden. Yeah, okay, so this is the bombs. So we're going to set this only when on me, and then we're going to do the flag taken sound. So this is going to be a get out of the raid debuff, which is what I primarily use the flag taken sound for. All right, and then next up we have, let's see, frontal cone. And that's probably a random direction, so that can probably be our countdown. Yeah, because it doesn't look like there's much more in the boss fight, so I think we'll do that. So we'll go ahead and just put the frontal cone as a countdown. And then I think that is it, because we'll probably just also use our defensives with the bombs, since that does damage to the players that are hit. So I think that's it for Nymue for now. That's probably going to be one that we go back. Like, these later fights are usually the ones that I go into the raid and then do them, and then I'm like, okay, yeah, now I see where I can, add certain timers or add, change my countdown or do things like that. All right, and then this boss I also have not seen at all. I don't even think I've seen footage of this one. We have a tank soak. We have Cauterizing Wound, causing them to absorb healing. Remove the absorb creates a cauterizing explosion at the player's location. So let's see. Players with the bomb need to spread. Dodge the wave. Is that the same thing or is that different? Let's see, because they set it. What is it called? Overhealed. Overhealed? Is that what it was? Overheated. Okay. So yeah, overheated. So that's going to be this mechanic where we need to get to the edge of the room if you're overheated. Looks like a lot of people get it, but not everyone. So it is important if we get it. So we're going to set that to only win on me. And then do the PvP flag taken sound. And then now we have fixated players. Kite your orb and soak it when vulnerability from the last one expires. Okay, I see how that works. So get a little orb that fixates us. This is called, what is it called? Usually they have the ability names like right here on the screen. You can probably just find something that says fixate. Let's see. Right here, Seeking Inferno, and that's Mythic mode only. So we'll set that to only when on me, and then we're going to set that to the runaway sound.
Run away, little
Since it's an
girl.
additional thing that we need to move out of the, we need to move around with, but we already used the flag taken sound. All right. If you don't have a bomb, soak with the tank. Cool. And then this will probably be the countdown, honestly, is this big soak. So let's go ahead and set the soak as, is that Brand of Damnation, it looks like? Probably. An additional, yeah, split evenly. Okay, so yeah, Brand of Damnation, we're going to set the countdown for. That way we know to soak that. If we don't get a bomb, spread out after soaking and dodge explosions. Move far away with the bomb. This is a tank mechanic, so we don't need to worry about that. Everyone bait the fire and dodge. Yep, that's pretty straightforward. Passive raid-wide damage. Eat your orbs before they reach the boss. Yep, that's another thing that we don't need to worry too much about. Dodge the fire rings. It's just a Ragnaros mechanic, and I believe that is it. Cool. Found something for everything that we wanted. And then, oh yeah, that's it. So we'll do the last two bosses in part 2 of this video. I'm sorry this was a little bit longer. The way that they organized Mythic Trap was a lot different than how they have in the past, so I had to do a little bit more kind of like watching and reading of the Bigwigs stuff. But hopefully that's helpful in just getting you an idea of how I do this. And yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I'll talk to you guys later.